Gareth alongside Eric Giacometti. This is After 90 Minutes, and mission accomplished for Toronto FC. A goalless scoreline tonight, but a 2-0 aggregate victory over the Colorado Rapids sees Toronto FC through to the quarterfinals of the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League. And really, that's what it's all about, just moving on to the next round. It wasn't picture perfect, it was sloppy at times, but still a lot to build on, Eric.
Yeah, and we saw this in last year's playoff series against the Red Bulls, against Columbus. You know, maybe not their most complete performance over the 180 minutes, but in a tournament like this where it's survive and advance, they did what they needed to do to get through. They managed to get the 2 away goals, and that allows them to sit back and play as they want. The onus is on Colorado, and we saw that today where they didn't have the answers to find the back of the net, and that's all you need to get through.
Overall, I mean, we need to pinch ourselves and say it is late February. This game was played a month from now. So many of those close calls, those chances that just didn't find the back of the net. I mean, they would have ended up in the back of the net. In the first half, Javinko coming close, just past the far post. Same thing with JMO, came so close. I still don't know how Chris Mavinga missed that chance in the 90th minute. And then the 7 free kicks. Like, this scoreline could have been much more lopsided than it actually was.
Yeah, you couldn't tell it was February by the fans here. I mean, this place was absolutely packed and buzzing for a game, a cold game in February. But as you mentioned, you know, there were plenty of chances for TFC out there. But give them mid-season form, and you can bet at least 3 or 4 of those are going to the back of the net. We saw that the free kick prowess of Seba just a little bit off, but you know, we know what he can do. So this team knows how to fire on all cylinders and give it a little more time.
I just love the buzz inside BMO Field every time Seba steps up to take a free kick. Like, Colorado was playing with fire. You can't foul this team around the area.
Yeah, there's such an air of anticipation when you see the foul going around. It doesn't even have to be 25, 30, kind of anywhere near that 18-yard box. You know he's going to be lining it up. And we saw in preseason against, you know, some top Liga MX teams, he was banging in some free kicks, some pretty impressive ones at that. We've seen it throughout his time here in MLS and even back to his Juventus days. He knows how to take a free kick, so fans almost kind of expect it now rather than when he misses, it's more of a shock.
Good news defensively, they just gave up that 1 chance in Colorado, 1 chance today with Badji going off the post. As for the debutants, and I'm calling Aro a debutant because it was his first game at BMO Field, played the full 90 minutes. Then Akeche comes on in the 73rd minute, and he really made a difference, Eric. Like, he put his stamp on the game, and you see what a special player he can be. That left-footed player playing on the right side, just a constant threat from the second he came on the field.
Yeah, I'll start with Aro, but he was, you know, impressive again. I thought he was maybe the man of the match against the Rapids in the first leg, just bombing up and down the right wing, creating a lot of chances. And as you mentioned, Akeche getting his debut, a nice complementary piece in that midfield. It's, you know, an absolute luxury to have coming off the bench, a player of his quality, playing it from Athletic Bilbao, a top team in Spain, and you can bring him onto the bench and kind of relieve some of that creative pressure from Victor Vasquez to pull the strings in the midfield. And as you mentioned, a left-footed player, so it gives you a bit of a different look. So a nice option to have coming off the bench.
Well, the latter stages of the game, there's this interplay between Vasquez and Akeche and Aro, and you're like, wow, this is something special. Let's hear from Greg Vanny, the head coach, and his impressions on Akeche and what he meant after he came into the game.
Obviously, he's well educated. He understands, without having played a lot with our team, he goes onto the field and he fulfills a role very nicely and looked very comfortable within the group.
So on to the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions League. Tigres are ahead. March 7th, Wednesday night at BMO Field. This is the clash of the Titans, Eric. The best team in MLS taking on the best team in Mexico.
This is what you want if you're a fan of North American soccer. As you mentioned, you have the class of Liga MX, the class of MLS. And this is such a big matchup, I think not only for TFC, but for MLS, just to see how the best can stack up against such a quality team. The challenge always is, you know, a Liga MX team, they're in the middle of their season, so they're going to have their fitness, their legs underneath them. Not to mention the disparity in payroll. I mean, you know, the salary cap league here makes it a lot more difficult to keep up. Only 2 teams ever making it to the CONCACAF Champions League final from MLS. So they certainly have their challenge cut out in front of them, but I think this TFC team is up for it.
The attacking talents there, Gignac, Ener Valencia, Eduardo Vargas, these are all established internationals, Jurgen Damm. But the great equalizer could be the weather here next Wednesday night. If it turns, if it's anything like, if it's completely different than tonight, then that may be a great equalizer here. And you know, the players, they're up for it as well.
They've been very successful in the last few years, domestically and internationally. So this is a team with a lot of really good players, and it's going to be a good test.
We know they're a talented side. We know they got a lot of good players, and obviously every time you go down and play in an environment like that, it's a tough game. So for us, you know, we've had some experience with that already, obviously going there for preseason, but for us, just making sure that we make the game about us. We don't want to cater to the way they play.
So Wednesday night, the first leg right here at BMO Field, that is going to be a hot ticket. And we all know how to get ahead of the queue, Eric. You download the TFC app, you're going to have a push button notification, 4 p.m. on Wednesday to get your tickets because you're going to want to be in here. General sale opens Thursday, but don't worry about that. Just download the app and just make sure that you're going to be in this place.
It's going to be a great match. You're not going to want to miss it. 2 of the best teams in the region, so be sure you get that on the app, and you'll be here.
It's great. The 2018 season is here in earnest. The regular season opener this Saturday, championship ceremony. We're back, buddy, and we're keeping it locked to TorontoFC.ca for all your TFC news and notes.